What's up, fellas? Let's wake up. Let's get our freaking minds right because it's time for Wake Up Mintzy, presented by Dude Wipes and Stella Blue. Drinking some Stella Blue on this windy morning, but in great spirits. Because this is conference tournament week, and I feel like this is the most underrated sports week of the whole year. Because if you like gambling on DraftKings, then there's no better freaking week. Everybody loves the first weekend of March Madness, as I do too. But, man, this week has it all. And today, you got the SEC tourney, the Big Ten tourney, the Big East tourney, Big 12, all of them crank it up. We've got a lot of small conference championship games. Shout out Will Wade. I'm rocking my McNeese State shirt today. They're in the Southland Championship. We're also going to talk a crap ton of NFL free agency because the NFL has gone literally buck wild in the last couple of days. Going to be joined this morning by Tyler Moody from Louisiana. What's up, Mr. Moody? How are we doing?
Yo, what's up, brother? Doing pretty good myself. Like you said, it's one of the best times of the year, mainly because Major League Baseball is right around the corner. But I do love March for the basketball as well. College basketball is it's really a 1 month season for college basketball. But damn, if it isn't one of the best months of the entire season or the whole year.
Look, I've been following it all year, but I've been really you know what really happened, Moody? Was the Alabama-Auburn game on Saturday when Bama hit the floater at the buzzer to win. That triggered something from my past. And now I'm all in on this March Madness and having a blast firing on DraftKings. And like I said, the SEC tournament starts today, but just so much to get into on that front. But you know what I want to talk about today, Moody? The National Football League. Because free agencies hit the last 2 days, and there is so much crap to unpack on that front. It's freaking nuts, all the stuff that's happened. Not really for our teams, though. Saints and Cowboys not doing the most.
Saints and Cowboys not doing a damn thing. They're both in cap hell at this point. I mean, we're pretty much riding the same train here. Neither team has money to spend. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a very boring offseason for Saints and Cowboys fans.
But Saints did make one move yesterday. They signed Justin Reed, who's a really good safety from the Chiefs. He's a South Louisiana guy from Prairieville. So the Saints got the all Louisiana safety tandem with him and Honey Badger, which is kind of fun. They're switching to Brandon Staley's 3-4. So they traded for Devon Godshaw to play nose tackle from the Patriots. Re-signed Chase Young, 3 years, $51 million to come off the edge in the 3-4, which is a good move in theory. But, man, he's never been able to stay healthy, so I've got some concerns about that. So nothing too exciting there. A lot of stuff, way bigger names to get to. I'm going to hit you with it, and I want to get your thoughts, too. First,
okay.
DK Metcalf to the Steelers. 5 years, $150 million. Thoughts?
It makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense type situation. You know what I mean? I think, look, DK's a stud. He did not have a very good year last year. JSN kind of came in, took over as the number one. His stats regressed. I think DK, and I was watching a lot of their games down the stretch, he was checked out. He was just checked out in Seattle. He wasn't giving 100% effort. I could see the same thing kind of happening in Pittsburgh if they don't get a damn quarterback to get him the football. But this is a team that needed a second wide receiver. They got their guy. I like it for Pittsburgh. I really do.
So I feel like you'll get the effort with the $30 million a year.
He's better. Yeah.
What's this going to be like? How's this going to work with him and George Pickens? Are they going to move on from him because he literally got George Pickens' money. Like them paying DK, they're never going to pay both of them like that ever.
That's a good point.
And so I'm wondering how that dynamic's going to work. And then on the Pittsburgh quarterback front, do they bring Russ back, or do you think they go get Aaron Rodgers?
It sounds like Aaron Rodgers is going to end up there. I was looking this morning, everybody's trying to push the narrative that Rodgers is going to end up there. I have a feeling, especially after they've got DK now, you've got two flat-out studs to throw the football to on the outside. It makes a ton of sense for Aaron Rodgers. He'll be playing with a good defense, a team, a pretty complete team, but a team that needs a damn quarterback. I think it makes a lot of sense for Rodgers.
Yeah, well, I think it's coming too, and that would be fascinating to see him go to a playoff team to see if he could, make the playoffs, make one last run. I think that would be a fitting way for it to end. Okay, the Sam Darnold thing. This has got to be discussed. All right, because Darnold had he's obviously had his career until last year was struggling. Then they go 14-3 last year. He's a freaking MVP candidate, and then the last 2 weeks he falls off a cliff on the Sunday night against Detroit, playing for the NFC North title, the 1 seed, and then the Rams game in the playoffs. My question then was like, how much money did he just cost himself? Well, it turns out he's still getting $100 million. He got 3 years, $100 million. He's going to Seattle. I wrote a blog about this yesterday. I don't think this is going to work. I just think Minnesota in that dome with Kevin O'Connell calling plays and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, he was in such a good situation to succeed, and I don't think Seattle's going to be the same thing. They hired Clint Kubiak, Saints offensive coordinator, who I thought got a bad rep last year a little bit. Obviously the Saints started off strong the first 2 games, and everybody got hurt. And he was also lurking with Derek Carr and Rattler and everybody being out. But they do have JSN, who you mentioned is good. But their offensive line, they don't have DK. I mean, I think playing in Seattle is a tougher situation. I have my doubts on the Sam Darnold thing.
Well, you just mentioned the most important thing for Sam Darnold. It is the offensive line play. Whenever he was given time and he was comfortable back there, he had an incredible run this season. Teams that got in his face and disrupted things at the line of scrimmage gave him fits. And we saw it down the stretch. We saw what the Rams did to him. We saw what the Lions did to him. I mean, they were struggling so damn bad to protect him that if it's Seattle's offensive line, average at best. So if he has shaky offensive line play, I do worry about Sam Darnold. I get it from Seattle's standpoint. They're looking for a consistent quarterback, which I do think Darnold is, but he has to have that good offensive line play. If he doesn't have that, it's a totally different story. So they better make sure they have that secure for him.
That's been a problem for them for a while. Do you like him more than Geno? Do you think they upgraded from Geno to him?
I think he's a slight upgrade from Geno. I don't think it's much, though. I think it's negligible.
So Geno went to the Raiders. One other story I think is big in the NFL. People are kind of talking about, is it over for the Niners, Moody? I mean, look at everything. They're about to have to. They're clearing money. Okay, they trade Debo, which makes sense. They cut Kyle Juszczyk last night, which, man, I mean, he's a fullback. They're switching to their personnel to where they're not using fullbacks. But, like, I always just thought of him as, like, the stereotypical Niner with the way they'd line him up all over and used him. It's going to be weird not seeing him in a Niners jersey next year. I don't know what you can get from Christian McCaffrey anymore. Hopefully he comes back healthy, but I've got a lot of questions. Purdy's about to get a big contract. I don't know. It just feels like you never know. You never want to count out Kyle Shanahan, but it seems like there's a vibe that the Niners may have missed their window.
The thing is, I just don't know how great that division is moving forward. Like, you think about the Rams, right? They're the team that I would be willing, with Stafford there, I would buy into them the most. But how much does Stafford have left? And what happens with them whenever he's gone? So, like, I think the future for the 49ers is okay because of the division that you play in. And you have 2 great football minds running the show. I have some faith in Lynch and Shanahan. So I'm not ready to write the 49ers off just yet. Are they taking a step back? Yes. But the division's not great.
On the Rams front, moving on from Cooper Kupp, getting Devontae Adams. I know they're both 32. A lot of people have been back and forth about the Kupp thing. I actually don't mind it. It's just tough because what a cold business. I mean, he was Super Bowl MVP, 3 years ago? But he slowed down a lot. I know he's had a lot of injuries. He couldn't separate into the year, and that's why they're moving on from him. Devontae Adams was balling late last year. Granted, it was in meaningless games. And, Moody, I know you've always been a fan of his route running. His route running in that McVay offense with Stafford, to me, still intriguing at 32. And I think him and Puka could be good.
I love it for the short term. I mean, I really do. I think next year Stafford and Devontae Adams could light it up. A lot of people were saying, like, why sign Devontae, let Kupp walk, all this stuff. Because Kupp's not a red zone target, and Devontae Adams is an absolute beast around the end zone. I mean, it's really that simple. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are a little too similar in the things that they do. They're both elite route runners, but really, short term or short yardage type stuff. And DK gives them that downfield threat. Devontae Adams gives them the downfield threat and definitely a red zone target for Stafford. So I'm a big fan of what the Rams did as far as getting Devontae Adams. I still think he's got plenty left in the tank for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I think the Rams might have a shot to make a run next year because their D-line, those rookies last year, Verse and Fisk, and their defense came on late. And I think the Adams thing, man, I hate to say this about Kupp because I loved his career and we've loved him in fantasy for years. But what I saw late last year, man, I don't know, man. He might have been banged up, but I see why they're moving on. And I think the Kupp to Adams thing, a lot of people are like, oh, is that an upgrade? I'm like, I think it's a huge upgrade, in my opinion. All right, some other stuff I want to hit on. Washington Commanders trading for Laramie Tunsil, traded for Deebo Samuel. They traded for Marshawn Lattimore late last year. Got to respect them throwing their nuts on the table and going for it.
Yep.
You got Jaden on a rookie contract, so you're trying to take advantage of it. I'm curious, it can't hurt. Tunsil didn't have as good a year last year, but still a big upgrade at left tackle. He's still very talented. I think Deebo needs to lose some weight. Like I thought last year, he didn't look the same. And Lattimore,
he looks a little checked out, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did. He looked a little he was always fast. It didn't seem like he had that burst. And I'm always real wary in the NFL when people lose that burst first step when they're getting older. I mean, you can lose that, and then it's kind of over sometimes. But what do you think of the Commanders' moves?
I like what they're doing. They're trying to build around their franchise quarterback. So it's every move that they make, you have to just, as a Commanders fan, you just have to be happy with it because they're actually putting in effort. This is a team that was really bad for the last few years. You finally got your guy. They're building around him, and they're getting him weapons. I actually like the Deebo move for them. I think it gives them a second weapon to pair with Terry McLaurin, which they desperately needed. Ertz was great down the stretch, don't get me wrong, but I think Deebo adds an element to that offense that they just simply did not have. He's a great gadget receiver. They can design all different kinds of plays for him, and in that offense, Deebo could be deadly with the play caller that they have.
Yeah, I like it, especially. I mean, I don't know. It's exciting to see. I don't see a sophomore slump coming for Jaden Daniels. Chicago Bears, a lot of talk here locally. I actually think the Bears are kind of getting it right finally. I mean, obviously the Ben Johnson coaching hire I thought was great. I think Dennis Allen's a good defensive coordinator and a bad head coach. And then they fixed their offensive line. I mean, they really spent some money on Joe Thuney. They brought in a good center. I like what they did on that front. Look, I know you're not the biggest Caleb guy, but they're giving him a real chance with the offensive line, a good play caller, and they already have 3 good wide receivers with DJ Moore, Dunze, and Keenan Allen. I mean, I actually think, it's kind of one of those things where everybody here has been burned so many times. They're like wanting to buy in but being jaded. I actually love what they're doing.
No, I think they're making the right moves here. The most important thing is they got to get that offensive line taken care of. There's 2 things that have to happen this offseason. They have to speed the game up in Caleb Williams' mind, and then they have to address the offensive line. Those are like the 2 biggest things, in my opinion, for the Chicago Bears this offseason. Can they slow the game down for him with good offensive line play? Yes, but he has to figure it out up here. And he struggled. Half of the sacks that Caleb Williams took were on the offensive line. Half of them were on him for holding the football. It's partially his fault that he took so many damn sacks as well. So they've got to get him right upstairs, and they got to get the offensive line right. If that happens, I think the Bears could be a pretty good team. I'm not ready to write Caleb Williams off yet, but I've got to see some stuff from him on the mental side of the game for him to really take a step forward in my book.
It kind of reminds me of what happened to Trevor Lawrence. Remember Trevor Lawrence's rookie year with Urban Meyer when they went like 1 game?
Yeah.
That's what Caleb Williams' rookie year felt like. And now this is his real rookie year because he actually has a real coach with play calling and O-line and stuff. But like you said, he's got to get it out a lot quicker for sure to succeed. Another team I want to mention that I think is doing good stuff, New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought in Harold Landry from the Titans, Vrabel's old edge rusher. They signed Milton Williams, the Eagles' stud defensive tackle, Louisiana Tech, 318 guy, 4 years, $104 million. I'd like to see them maybe bring in a wide receiver or 2 to help Drake May out, but I feel like this Vrabel era, I'm not sitting here saying they're going to be a playoff team next year, but I like what they're doing. I like the Vrabel fit, and I think things are about to get a lot better.
Good times are on the horizon for the New England Patriots. They're a couple years away for sure. They're not just going to snatch a player up and it's going to completely change everything at this point. They're still a couple years away, but they are definitely building that foundation now around Drake May. So I like what they're doing. He's got to get a receiver that he can truly count on out there. Yeah,
for sure. Well, a lot of teams. Okay, one move yesterday I want to make sure that we mention, Moody. Did you see Joey Bosa going to the Bills for $12.6 million 1 year?
Yeah, were you surprised that that happened?
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, he's had trouble staying on the field, so maybe
Yeah,
that
he's
was
always
why.
hurt.
And the Chargers brought Khalil Mack back for $18 million, so I think they just decided they could only pay one of them. But I love the move for the Bills. 1 year, not committing long term. I think he's still very talented when he's healthy, and they already have a good team. I think that's a sneaky, really good move.
Yeah, no, I definitely I don't mind it whatsoever.
Yeah, I like that one. The Texans kind of gutting their offensive line, trading Kenyon Green to the Eagles for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, trading Laramie Tunsil. I actually don't hate it as much on their end as people think. Their offensive line stunk last year anyway, and so they're trying to change it up. But I am curious. I think the logic's got to be on their front that they got to get ready to pay C.J. Stroud here soon. That's got to be my thought.
Yeah, what's he have left? 2 years?
Well, it's only his third year, so I guess he's got 2 to 3 more years.
Got a couple years before he gets paid, yeah. Let's see. Roast Beef Ron says, let's get the energy up. Time to make some money. Our boy D's asking where Cooper Kupp is going to end up.
See, I think he's going to end up as like a number 3 slot receiver somewhere. It seems like he still wants to play. The Patriots thing would be fun for him, but he seems like a Patriots. He seems like a Patriots receiver, for sure. I think he's one I'd be looking at. I don't know. What do you think? Where do you think he'll end up?
Pittsburgh was the place that I was thinking originally. Obviously, I think that could be off the table. Maybe they're willing to go get make him their number 3. I mean, that would give them a trio of legitimate weapons. Washington was making a ton of sense to me at first, and that's a team that's still got money. They've got cap room. Pair him with Debo and Terry. That doesn't make as much sense now. Before they got Debo, I was thinking he would make a ton of sense there. So now the market, as far as teams that made sense in my mind for Cooper Kupp, starting to dry up a little bit. Could you see him in Atlanta potentially?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Yeah, you know what? I actually could, because so much of the NFL free agency stuff is who fits schemes. And Atlanta's offensive coordinator Zach Robinson was the quarterback's coach for Stafford for the Rams. So yeah, I like what you're thinking there.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so that would be something I could kind of see possibly. But man, it's fun following this NFL just going so nuts. I'm real curious. So looking at the quarterback thing for the draft. It seems like the Giants still don't know who their quarterback is. Oh, yeah, your boy Daniel. Oh, here's a funny one. Your boy Daniel Jones.
Oh, yeah, Daniel Jones.
Got 1 year, $14 million from the Colts. I saw a stat DraftKings posted. 2 lowest passer ratings in the NFL the last few years, Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson.
When I tell you a quarterback's not going to be good, I'm usually pretty spot on as far as my evaluations are concerned. But I like this move, actually. I think it makes sense. It gives them somebody to challenge Anthony Richardson. And it would just be good for us to see what Daniel Jones looks like, not in a Giants uniform. Can he play if the team around him is decent? I don't know. I'd like to see it. I don't think Anthony Richardson is the true solution there. He's, from a fantasy perspective, Anthony Richardson's fun. Don't get me wrong. Dude's fun. Great player for fantasy. I just don't think he is that dude to lead you to the playoffs. Maybe Daniel Jones could be. I don't know. I'd like to see the experiment happen. I like the move for the Colts, actually.
Well, yeah, I do too. And the other thing with Richardson, can he stay on the field? I mean, I know he's inconsistent, but he also gets hurt because he runs a lot. So you got to invest.
Daniel Jones gets hurt a lot.
That's a fact. And
then
the other
guys there that both are injury risk. Neither one of them are great either. It's definitely an interesting quarterback room there for the Colts.
Justin Fields, Jets, 2 years, $40 million. I do like the thing. I know he isn't the best passer, but him and Garrett Wilson playing college together should have a good chemistry. I mean, I don't know. I just know the passing game is going to be a little limited with him. What do you think? I mean, it's just a stopgap move because they don't really have a plan.
It's a stopgap move. I think he makes them competitive, though. He's going to go out there and, he's going to obviously run for some yards. He's going to be competitive with Wilson. It just feels like in order for Justin Fields to win you games, the structure around him has to be really good. He stepped into a great situation last year in Pittsburgh where they had a good structure around him, and they won games with him. I just don't know that the Jets have that structure from top to bottom that is needed to win with Justin Fields, but he will make them competitive every game. He's one of those quarterbacks that the game's never over whenever he's got the ball because he he's an X factor. There's no doubt about it. But he can also be an X factor in the wrong way, and he can lose you some games. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens with this.
I am too. And then so looking around, so the Steelers could bring Russ back still, or they could go Aaron Rodgers. That one's up in the air. The New York Giants. I feel like, man, I've been hearing a lot of smoke. I think the Giants are about to take Jackson Dart. I know that's crazy to say, but I think I don't know. I kind of feel like it's coming.
What pick do they have? Is it?
They have third. They have third. But I feel it seems like they're going to take a rookie quarterback, is my guess, to pair with Malik Neighbors.
Do you think Jackson Dart goes third overall?
I mean, that sounds crazy considering I thought he was a fourth or fifth rounder like 4 months ago. But I'm happy for him. I hope he does. But, I mean, his stock has risen a ton. I don't know about third. I mean, Cam Ward and Shador are both options, obviously, too. And I'm just curious to see what happens there. Oh, and then speaking of the Cleveland Browns, how funny was the Myles Garrett thing? Did you follow that saga?
Yeah, it's pretty insane, huh?
Saying he wants to play for a Super Bowl contender, and then there's like, here's $40 million a year, and he no longer wants to play for a Super Bowl contender.
Man got paid, though. I mean, well-deserved, one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL, but my God, that's a shit ton of money for a pass rusher.
$2.5 million a game. The cap did go up, but damn. But yeah, so lots of moves. Like we said, some teams not making them. I mean, I think the Cowboys are about to. It's not good. I think things are about to be kind of bad there. I don't like the Schottenheimer move. I think things are looking bad there. It looks like the Commanders and Eagles. Oh yeah, and the Eagles front too. Before we move on from NFL, they lost, dude. I know that they were one of the best in it. They were so dominant. You know, obviously we saw what they did in the playoffs, crushed Super Bowl, NFC Championship. Man, they're losing a ton off that defense though. Ton. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Josh Sweat, Milton Williams. They paid Zach Bond. They always have depth on the defensive line, though, so I feel like you can kind of give them the benefit of the doubt there with Jalen Carter and the talent they got up front. But still, and they also lost Kellen Moore as OC. I mean, that's just what happens, though. You win a Super Bowl, everybody raids your roster.
Well, surprised to see that they traded away so much, too. It's not just that their roster got raided. It's they willingly went and made some of these trades. So it's tough to doubt the moves that they're making, though, because they've done such a great job at roster construction over the last few years, right? So you have to just kind of tip your cap and, play the long game and just wait and see what happens with them. Because I think that's one franchise right now that when they're making moves, you just trust the moves, right? Like there's some franchises when they make a move, you don't trust shit that they're doing. Like I'm still kind of out on the Bears. I know everybody thinks they're doing the right thing. I don't trust what the Bears are doing. I'm the complete opposite on the Philadelphia Eagles. They're the kind of team, the kind of franchise that's run the right way, that you trust the moves that they're making in free agency, through trades, during the offseason. I think Philly will be just fine.
Yeah, you got to give Howie Roseman the benefit of the doubt. I'm totally understanding of that. The Geno Smith Raiders move last week.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, it's kind of it just really doesn't matter too much, right? The Raiders are going to be bad. They were trying so hard this whole offseason to get a quarterback. They took a lot of runs at Stafford, didn't ultimately work out for them. They settled for Geno. Geno's a decent stopgap for them as they, make the move.
Yeah, it's just tough for them with the Chiefs, Broncos, and Chargers in that division. I mean, you're dealing with Andy Reid, Peyton, Harbaugh, Herbert, Nix, Mahomes. I mean, I just don't I don't see how you're going to get past 7 or 8 wins ever there.
No, you're not.
With those 6 games.
You should just be tanking. You really should.
Yeah, I know, but Tom Brady being there now, they were trying to use his influence. Well, all right, conference tournaments, a shout out Roast Beef Ron. I like him. He's a funny dude in New Orleans. Conference tournaments, I'm wearing my Will Wade shirt today. Southland Championship. Did you watch any? I know you called Northwestern State games. They fought last night. They got down big early.
Northwestern State, yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, they ended up losing by 18 or 19, but they fought early. That line, that point spread was crazy. It opened at 12.5, moved to 16.5. They were down big early. They kind of fought late, but man, McNeese, hoping they take care of it today. Atmosphere looked great in Lake Charles. Can't wait to see Will Wade in the tournament, hopefully next week.
Will Wade is the man. He has run through the Southland Conference.
He's never lost a game.
Southland Conference. He hasn't lost a game. I called a couple of his games last year. That team was they were just complete, man. I mean, they were one of the most complete teams, one of the most complete mid-majors in all of college basketball. Will Wade's ability to not only coach but to recruit dudes, he's got it all, man. Like the fact that he's at McNeese is still just mind-blowing, but he has proven how good he is even at that level at a school that, really hadn't done a whole lot the last few years. Incredible stuff from Will Wade. Credit to Northwestern State. They fought yesterday. That's a school that has had a lot of problems winning in all sports. I mean, I've called a lot of football, baseball, women's basketball. Like it's a school that struggles to win. But their coach a couple seasons ago heads off to Austin Peay, takes the entire team damn near with him.
And staff, yeah.
Yeah, and staff. I mean, and so the fact that they reloaded and were competitive, I think they're the 4 seed this year, if I'm not mistaken. Credit to Northwestern State, but they just had no chance against Will Wade. The American Gangsters, too damn good. And I'm gonna be betting on Will Wade and McNeese here in March.
Yeah, I hope that last year, I remember they were the hyped up 12 seed, but they had to play Gonzaga, and they didn't have the big guys to match up. But hopefully they get a little better draw this year.
I think they're a little bit better this year.
Yeah, I do too.
Overall.
Well, I'm looking on DraftKings. A lot of stuff to get into today. I love this conference tourney day. We're going to be streaming all week. Some stuff from last night. Gonzaga beat Santa Clara. Ugly game last night, Moody. I watched it. I bet on Gonzaga. Hit that. Man, St. Mary's, Moody. 0 3-pointers made in the whole game, dude. They were 0 for 15. I mean, it was crazy. Gonzaga made 2, but they won the West Coast Conference Tournament. They're going to probably end up being a 7. Some other stuff from last night. Delaware was the team that captured the country. They were a 12 seed and had lost 14 of 15 games in their conference in the SoCon. And they got hot in the conference tournament, made it all the way to the championship as the 12. And they were beating UNC Wilmington most of the in the second half and ended up losing by 4. But there was that's kind of the stuff that makes March fun. Man, it always blows my mind. God, that's got to be so tough for these smaller conference schools to play 2 months of games. And then, you be the best team, 14-2, and then you just have a bad 40 minutes, and then you're just out after you put in the whole season. And I know that's what makes conference tournament week so special, is that, it's the winner go home thing. But damn, I mean, if I was a coach or players, I mean, you're putting in 2 months of work to have it go down like that. It's tough. But all in the game. I mean,
all in part of it. So that's why we tune in, right? It's the excitement of March. It's that. Those are the beautiful moments, man. And it's without that, we wouldn't care as much,
Yeah. Well, the bigger tournaments crank it up today. Big 12 started yesterday. Cincinnati smoked Oklahoma State. Some other, there's Cincinnati. This morning we got A10 tourney, ACC tourney, Virginia, Georgia Tech. Big 12's got Cincinnati, Iowa State. Iowa State, by the way, 20-3 in their last 23 games in the Big 12 tourney. Watch out for them to make a run. For some reason, they play great in those conference tournaments. They were ranked real high all year, and then they had some injuries, so they kind of fell off late. But I still think they're kind of a team people are sleeping on a little bit. SEC tourney starts Arkansas, South Carolina. I kind of like the under in that game. It's 138.5. The winner of that plays Ole Miss tomorrow at 1. Man, Nashville went last year. Oh, shout out our boy Kyle Blankenship, LSU Shreveport.
Yeah.
They were all they're playing in the NAIA tournament in Georgetown, Kentucky. Brought the whole team and his kids to the Barstool Bar last night.
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
20 people.
Kyle's hell of a dude. One of my favorite coaches in the entire country. And LSU Shreveport, where I graduated from, trying to make another run at the NAIA tournament. They're there every single year, and they're there because of Kyle Blankenship.
21st straight NAIA tourney they've played in.
I mean, he is one of the best, most consistent coaches I've ever seen at their craft. He really is good.
I just got to give him a shout out. Yeah, he's great. But noticing a lot of unders hitting in the gambling because you've got a lot of empty gym, ugly games. Moody kind of been firing some unders, hitting some stuff. A couple conference championship futures bets. I like Oregon 28-1 Big Ten. They play today against Indiana. I feel like the Big Ten's kind of wide open. I like Iowa State Big 12 if you can get it. I saw them at plus 750. I think they got a shot. Those are a couple of the ones I like. But, man, I'm just stoked. A lot of some Barstool stuff to touch on too, man. lot of you follow any of this drama and I mean, it's been pretty wild in the office since all the Nikki Smokes.
You talk about the Nikki Smoke stuff?
Yeah.
Bro, so I don't get on Twitter a whole lot. I don't always follow along with things, but I have followed along with the Nikki Smoke stuff. It's fucking hilarious, bro. Like Smoke's out there just doing his thing. You know, as a fellow brethren who has wilded out at times during his life, like you got to tip your cap a little bit to Nikki Smoke. Motherfucker's clearly he's got some smoke for the ladies around the office.
Yeah, I got to give him credit, man. He's it's just been wild. That whole thing's been wild Barstool drama. Last night, flight simulator, real fun thing. PFT was on the flight simulator. Arian Foster won the challenge. I know he needs the money, but that was a big stream. And then I've got something really fun planned with Moot Can't Sleep tomorrow night that will come out tomorrow. I'm super excited about. But, man, I don't know, just this vibe right now. Also, Moody, excited about Bossier next week with you, heading to your neck of the woods. Old Stomping Ground DraftKings Social has opened at the Live Casino, and we're going to be there for Thursday and Friday of March Madness, which should be a hell of a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing some of the old Mixing Up and Mets fans from our heyday coming out to watch the March Madness. But this kind of like, there's like a vibe. And it's St. Patty's Saturday, which is my first one here. But it's like, it almost feels like I don't want to say a holiday, but like we're going to be streaming starting today all weekend. But man, I just can't wait to sit around and fire on DraftKings. Man, it's going to be great. Just firing some games, watching some hoops with the boys. You can't beat it. And I'm kind of feeling, let's get freaking hot, boys. Let's get hot. This is the best time of year to do it. Been doing all right, I think this is, I'm in good spirits, but it's kind of, I know you're just ready. I know, like you said, the 1 month of your college basketball, you're just biding your time until Major League.
Yeah, I'm just ready for Major League Baseball. I have nothing to add to the college basketball talk, unless it's Southland Conference basketball. So, that's about the only damn thing I know about this year. I've just watched so little college basketball. I can't. I love the tournament. I will get excited for the 2-3 weeks that it's running, but it doesn't really do a whole lot for me personally. To each their own. But with Major League Baseball right around the corner, that's definitely what I'm focused on. I've been watching these spring training games, and I'm so ready for opening day to fire some home run bets.
Yeah, dude, I'm ready. Well, hopefully the ball will be flying earlier this year. I remember last year that was a little bit of a problem.
It was down the entire season last year. I was looking at some stuff somebody had posted yesterday about that. Like the home run ball was down last year because the baseball had been manipulated. We'll know pretty early in the season what kind of baseball we're going to have. So I'll be aware of that early on in the year, and we'll make adjustments as it goes.
Cubs Dodgers in Japan next week. That's pretty cool.
Roki Sasaki will be pitching Game 2 for the Dodgers. That's pretty exciting as somebody who is now a Roki Sasaki owner in one of his fantasy leagues, and a guy that I believe is going to have a big season. I'm just excited to see him pitch. I think Cubs-Dodgers is a great way for Major League Baseball to showcase their talent. In Tokyo, you get obviously the star power of the Dodgers and Ohtani, but you get the up-and-coming Cubs, a team that MLB would love to have a big season here. So it's a great way for Major League Baseball to start the season. I like it.
Hell yeah. Well, boys, let's go have a day. Let's make some money on DraftKings, man. They got all kinds of great action. Let's get out. Let's get hot. Let's do it. I'm going to be watching. I can't wait to stream college basketball all day. It's a good spirits, Moody. I'm in a good mood today. You're in a good mood?
I'm in a good mood. It's always tough for me waking up early in the morning, but doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm in a good mood. I'm fired up. Our boy Sealark, though, is saying he's calling out Ole Miss baseball. Says they lost yesterday while the Georgia Diamond Dogs won again.
All right, I will touch on that. Yeah, I mentioned the college baseball real quick. So SEC starts this weekend. Ole Miss got smoked at South Alabama 14-5. They're still 13-2 or 14-2. Not worried about it. I mean, it was like they did get smoked and it was bad. But 2 losses non-conference, including showing well in the Arlington Showcase. I'm thrilled with how the non-conference went. This weekend, Moody, SEC baseball, Arkansas at Ole Miss kicking it off. Exciting.
Love that.
This SEC baseball this year, you could make an argument 15 of the 16 teams can make the NCAA tournament other than Missouri. Dude, I was just looking at the matchups this weekend. It's freaking crazy. The biggest thing last night, midweek baseball, Florida and Florida State are number 7 and number 6. Florida won at Florida State. So Tennessee, only undefeated team left in college baseball. Just one. And
not shocked. That is a hell of a baseball school, bro. They get it, and they reload. They lose guys to the major leagues, and they just reload there.
LSU was up like 17-0 on Xavier last night. Watch out for Bear Jones. LSU's first baseman has 7 bombs already. He's a monster. I mean, he could be the best player in college baseball.
Did you pick him to be the player of the year?
Yeah, I picked him to be player of the year in the SEC. But LSU looks really good because their pitching staff, they got Anthony Ianson, their number 2, transfer from Cal Santa Barbara. Looks awesome. He had like 15 strikeouts Saturday. But yeah, LSU looks freaking good. Tennessee looks good. A&M's been a little disappointing so far. Their offense hadn't really clicked. But, man, I just can't. The SEC baseball is going to be so awesome. Like, just getting to sit back on those Friday nights watching all the aces and first-round guys. I mean, I'm getting in the spirit of it. March Madness obviously dominates this month, and then college baseball picks up after the Masters. But SEC starting this weekend, the action is going to be super hot. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. Last year going to the SEC tournament was a ton of fun. You know, it's always cool to see some of the best players in the country match up right there in front of your eyes in a big tournament like that. So that, for me, kind of reignited my love for college baseball. And the run that we watched Tennessee have last year was just absolutely epic. That Christian Moore run, I'll never
forget. The Florida
forget
State game, yeah, the Florida State game.
The Florida State game where he hit for a freaking cycle. Like, come on.
Yeah, no. People were asking if they were going to fall off, and it doesn't seem like Tennessee's falling off whatsoever. But, yeah, excited about that. Excited about being alive, dude. You know, just good spirits a couple months into the year. I think part of it, there's a vibe in Chicago, and granted it's been windy yesterday and today, but the weather finally getting a little warmer here. I could just see the smiles on people's faces in Chicago because the winter is brutal. It never ends. And I feel like people are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and man, it's going to be a great summer. I mean, what's not to love? I don't know. I'm just feeling some positive energy today. Just feeling good. You know, it's good.
IG bags, baby.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, cool, man. Well, let's make some money today. We'll be posting picks, my DraftKings picks, and thanks to Moody. And let's do the damn thing today, boys. Let's have a day.